Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. Oh, not fully charged. Figured I'd make a quick video. Some of you guys might want to see this, some of you may not want to. You might already know how to do this, but on the platform I'm building here in the garage, I just figured before I put the sheathing down and kind of bury everything that I would show you what I'm up to. Let's start at the far wall. These are screwed right into the garage, so they're screwed into those uprights. Then what I did, as you see along the bottom, I put a support so that all along there the support is bolted into the uprights, and that way each beam is sitting on something like this, which once again is bolted right into the uprights. By bolting it into the wall, it helps keep it from getting twisty. By sitting right down on the support beam down there, it could carry a tremendous amount of weight. I use these to put it together, and I use no shortage of those to put it together. So that's how I did the far end. Obviously, once I made sure I had the height up high enough so that I'm able to pull the cart in and out. Right from there, all I had to do was get level and work on these. Basically, I started with this one because the back of the cart, as you can see here, is the highest. Right. So once I got it level, set my height. Then I just, quite honestly, screwed this guy into this guy, right? I put a block here and a block here and set this upright. Once I had this end where I wanted it to be, I screwed it on, and once I did that, then all I had to do was level this, set the height over here, screw it to this, and once again match it to the corresponding beams. I tried to set these joints so that they were attached in, I'm going to call it, many ways. So this overall upright, which is the back one here, right, is screwed in here, right, and here, and here. And then what I did is, once again, put the extra support so that everything sitting on this front plate is also supported here. So with these multi-corners and for a good height, this is really solid, right? This, oops. As long as you don't kick over the level, it's not going anywhere, right? I mean, it's really, really solid. I did the same thing on this one, except I brought it in a little bit and caught this guy. To get all of these square to the wall, there's a small trick to that. This is a piece of plywood. It's rectangular, but from a 90-degree angle point of view, it's square. I just set that in the corner here and moved it around, right, until this was square with this front. Right, and once you do that, you're obviously square with the back wall and everything else. And you can see, by the way, my sheathing is sitting on there, right, that I managed to square everything up. Once again, the flake board is just sitting there for now. It's not all screwed in. This platform will be about 5.5 foot wide and a little less than 8 foot long. So I'm basically added 40 square feet to this garage. 40 square feet is not a little bit of space, especially if you make good use of the space. I'm able to, when I'm standing on the platform, I'm 5'8", and I just gotta kind of tilt my head down a little bit. When I built this garage, I made it extra tall. How tall is this off the floor? I think there's like 55 inches off the floor. So, just to kind of show you the whole platform. Is it exciting? Is it thrilling? Is it any of those things? No, not at all. I probably could have got away with 2x4s. It's just that for an 8-foot span, and I do plan on putting a couple of quads up there, and God knows what else I'm going to throw up there. I have a tendency to overload everything I build, so it never hurts to overbuild if you're going to overload. The only implication is, it would have been nice to get this down another 1.5 inches or so, right? And it would have given me 1.5 inches more ceiling room. Typically, a quad, trike, whatever, is like, just for a rough number, 4 foot tall. So as long as I have more than 4 foot from here to the ceiling, I'm all good. If I had to put a trike or 3-wheeler underneath here, she would go in from this side. This side is up high enough, but going under this way is not high enough. If I decided I was going to do something like that, I would have to get this out of here and go with steel, right? And even with that, it looks like, unless I drop the handlebars, right, if you look right here, right, compared to the height here, right, unless I drop the handlebars, it doesn't look like it's going. So that's the exciting thing about this. How am I going to get things up here? I haven't completely I haven't figured out the easiest way to do it. I have a lift platform. So one way to do it is you kind of set up whatever you're going to set up on the lift platform and jack it up to height, to as high as it'll go. Then you block the wheels, block the lift platform, lift it the rest of the way, and excuse the expression, but you kind of jackass it up on top. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is use the platform to put it on this thing, and then from that thing, just lift it the rest of the way on. Just kind of put one side on, then the other, then once again, kind of, crawl it, crab it the rest of the way in. Right now there are two bikes outside and a little bit of other stuff. Yeah, I just rolled 2 bikes out, right? 1, 2. Yeah, just 2 out. And you can see there's a little bit of extra space in here. Just picture with this bike up on top, what that thing is. That's a Kawasaki Mojave that has a Honda engine on it. So picture that going up on top, and underneath all this stuff, like that Honda, that's a 125, that's going on top. So if I get those 2 out of here, I think get a little smarter the way I have things stored. Plus I also think there's going to be space along the edge here, right? So in that space along the edge, I can put these 2 heaters, right? This heater and that heater. Depending on how much space, maybe the 120, the little Honda 70 could go up there. So then there's other stuff should happen, like this cart should get emptied out and find another place to be. I have a lot of organizing to do, but I think this will get me a long way there. There won't be any other videos specific to this platform. Next thing you'll see is the platform loaded up. Other things that really need to happen, quite honestly, I've kept this E-Z-Go / Cushman out of the weather, which has been good of me, but I really need to get to it and get it working. I've rebuilt, since this thing went in here 4 years ago, I must have rebuilt, 100 carburetors since then. Some of them, every variety, every sort, every annoyance. So I'm thinking next time I go into this carburetor, I'll hopefully I'll have a little bit more knowledge, experience, and I could get this carburetor to behave a little better, or I'm going to build an adapter and put a Honda carburetor on it. This engine's a little bigger than the other guys. I think this is 23 or 25 horsepower, where the one you saw with the fins sticking out of it on the side there, that guy's 14 or 16. So this is a different Öhlins engine. It's a bigger Öhlins engine, but it's equally as pesty to make it run. The unfortunate thing about, I think I do have some spare parts for this engine at this point. For a long time I did not. As a matter of fact, since it's been parked here, I think I've gotten some spare parts for this engine. Here at the Horde, we're big believers in having spare parts for all your stuff. As I think of a bike I'm going to take in and work on or not work on, like this guy, this CL70, I have a lot of horizontals like that, so getting parts to put this bike together is not as difficult. Where a bike like the SL100, it needed a lot of love and attention, it needed a lot of parts, and I have nothing spare for it. Everything I needed for that bike I would have had to buy. So I'm trying to clean up the Horde like that. I'm trying to chase more of the unique stuff away, and trying to get a little bit more standardized. Trying to maintain a spare parts inventory for every Kawasaki, every Suzuki, every Honda, every Yamaha, every E-Z-Go car, every Cushman I have. You know what I mean? It just all the club cars and everything else. After a while, it gets to be way, way, way too much. That's why I specifically try to shrink down to Honda and shrink down to the Honda clones, i.e. The China stuff. By the way, one last thing about the shelf. I think there's going to be enough space that I'll probably be able to put something along the top and hopefully put some of this plastic up there, because I have plastic everywhere in this garage. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it indifferent, but I have it like everywhere. Everywhere you look, I have plastic. Before anybody asks, plastic is one of those very difficult things. If you say, I just need a piece of plastic for my TRX 200SX, well, quite honestly, so do I. I have several of those bikes, and almost none of them have plastic. So whatever you need plastic for, if it's an older bike, chances are we all need plastic for. Some of the Honda three-wheeler stuff, they put a little better plastic on it. But even that, now that 35, 40 years has gone by, even that's getting a little harder to find. All right, folks, I want to thank you all. Looks like I got some weather blowing in, so I think I got to bring in some of this stuff. Folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your heads up, and please, please get out there and enjoy all your days. Bye now, folks.